Buddha. Welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Intercontinental Hotel. Here with a man who just calls it like he sees it every time. That's because he's filthy rich and we all know it. He tells us about it, which is cool. Chris Kirubi, Dr. DJCK. He calls himself most modest because he owns a radio station and half of Kenya. But he doesn't say. He just whispers. Talking about issues. KQ we've tackled for now. Teachers is the next thing. Tweets coming in thick and fast. I want to talk about a few of those. I'll get to the tweets in a second. But Chris, teachers are demanding 17 billion or they won't, and down their chalks and dust, whatever, blackboard dusters, whatever they use.
Jeff, to be honest, if we were already exporting the oil from Turkana, the teachers, we should pay them twice that amount. But I think in reality today, the main thing is not that the amount is big. The problem is it was a surprise award. Yeah. And I think between teachers and the government, they should be talking. The trouble is there is no trust between the two groups. And I think the kids at home, if the father is a civil servant and the kid goes to school and the kid has a teacher, and all the kid is seeing is the father and the teacher fighting on television. This to me is devastating. We are destroying the life of kids. And I think the teachers themselves are parents, the civil servants, the treasury, they are also parents. And I think what we don't need to destroy is the quality of education by maybe destroying the morale of the teachers. But at the same time, we must see how we can afford to pay them. Yeah. They deserve to be paid better salaries.
But Treasury Secretary Rotich says there's no money. He says he has no money right now. He doesn't have the cash.
You know, Rotich only works when the taxman collects money for him. And then Parliament tells him, you have this much money, please do X, Y, Z. There are committees in Parliament in charge of finances. And I have not seen those committees come on board to say, we have some funds here in reserve, can we take that money out and pay the teachers? I think Parliament is missing out in this case because poor Rotich is only a civil servant. He cannot do what is not approved by Parliament. And I think we need to stop these arguments. Eventually they have to settle. Yeah. Why don't they settle before they destroy the quality and life of the young people?
Chris,
because we are playing around with the future of Kenyans.
Absolutely.
These are the Kenyans
Correct.
of the future.
But you pay the teachers off, next will be the nurses, next will be the doctors, next will be, you never know who, Chris. I mean, where do you stop?
I am telling you, if wishes were horses, you know what would happen.
Beggars would
right? So, government must manage their machinery, public relations. How do we meet the expectations of the nurses, of the doctors, of the security forces? Yeah. Don't forget, police are most important in the equation of a good, stable, developing nation. Nurses, without them, we have seen them go on strike for a day or two, and you've seen people dying. Yeah. So they play a very major, very key role. But you know, you can beat a poor man, you can kill him. If he has no money, he'll just die. So we've got to understand what we are doing with our money. We've got to look at our priorities. We've got to stop all these bad purchases. You know, government buys everything almost at 20%, 30% more expensive. You know, I don't understand why. They really need to bring maybe private sector to help them with how to manage their funds. Because for me, I will not pay for a pint of milk 2 shillings here if I can get it 1 shilling in the other shop. I will make sure I get the quality and the cheapest price. So we actually need to take this debate of teachers out of the public domain and get the teachers to sit with our leaders and really discuss seriously what to do. They deserve the money, but at the same time, I think when our judiciary makes certain judgments, they are also Kenyans. They don't come from the moon. Judiciary are the same people like you and me, and therefore they must make decisions that are rational, that can be implementable, that are not going to cause more friction between different communities in the society.
But like you said, Chris, the biggest losers are the kids, the future of Kenya. They're the biggest losers.
No, Kenya is losing, not even the kids.
Okay, let's switch gears, Chris.
Yeah.
Cole Tusker, there's a tweet from Cole Tusker. He says, ask Chris Kirubi, why did Uchumi go down under his management? Wasn't Hako the main supplier to Uchumi? And the reason I'm asking the Uchumi question is because they've gone down again. Siano was kicked out. They brought in
I think this Cole Tusker, he hides his name by using some fake name. I wish he could say who he is, right?
Yeah.
Because I can confront him. The point is, I was only a chairman. And 2, when I left Uchumi, it took another 2 years before Uchumi could not operate anymore. And why did I leave Uchumi? Because government refused to listen to the advice that I gave them. I told them the management we had, including a lot of population that the politicians were bringing in and being employed, that we did not need. We cannot run that business. We must bring an investor in order to put in skills and quality of management to cut down all this corruption. If you remember, the government, in the name of Mukisa Kitui, he said Uchumi is a Kenyan gold. It cannot be sold. And I told him I tender my resignation. Right? Because we had people who were stealing day and night. They would take a fridge and do a receipt for some food stuff. Who could be everywhere to watch that happen?
What do you think? Why were they blaming you, Chris? Why do they blame you for Uchumi?
Why are they not blaming Siano? He said, I knew the same thing would happen to him. The same thing is going to happen to Dr. Ngeno. If there is no fundamental change, like this day follows the night, Uchumi is going to go down again. That is not a business that can run. You can keep on putting money. If you look at the period of Siano, how much money they put into that company, and where they took even our money. I am still a supplier, and today I'm refusing to supply them because they don't pay me. It's not a crime to trade with, I trade with every supermarket. Why? I got some of the best brands you can find in the country. And therefore insinuations are of no value. We used to own 25% of Uchumi.
Who's we?
Me personally, I own 10%.
Wow.
Centum owned 25%, and that's why we were on the board. And we could not do anything because government always had an upper hand. Everything we suggested, they say no. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't like, I like people not to get lost, to be cynical and to say things that add no value. I am not one of those guys who cause things to go. I speak my mind, and in this case I resigned. I said this business is not viable. The people who are running it can't run it. We don't have the technology to run all these stores.
Yeah.
And, you know, Siano comes in and cheats everybody that I'm a great man, I can do this, using our money, not paying us, the suppliers. And what happened? In the end, he left Uchumi worse than it ever was before.
Go on, you can use that word now, Chris. Use that word.
It is bullshit.
Yes, that's what it is, Chris.
I get angry when you see such a simple mind.
I hear you.
Yeah.
What do you tell Cole Tusker? Is he also...
He is bullshitter.
Okay, but Chris, why did you get so much flack for Chumi? Before that was Kenatko. Why are you the whipping boy for all that?
I left Kenatko 2 years ago before it went down. I left them over 80 million shillings in National Bank, and it can be verified. The auditors came, they audited. The guy who took over from me, he had no clue what he was doing. He started doing illegal magendo with the crooks, right?
Yeah.
They lost every single business we had built. And after 2 years, where were they? They disappeared. When I took over, Kenatko was dead. Tanzania had closed the border with 1/3 of our vehicles in Tanzania. We had no business. 80% of our business was to Zambia. And when I took over, I went to the government, president's office. They said, what do we do? I told them, give me political support, but leave me to do the business. I found business in Western Kenya, in Uganda, in Rwanda, in Southern Sudan. I used to drive a convoy of 100 vehicles with the police, with the customs, with everybody to deliver coffee. I am the one who locked in jail 2 members of parliament for stealing one of our lorries full of coffee. Come on, guys. You know, people like to be... It's bullshit, man.
Oh, Chris. Say it, Chris. Say what you really feel.
I get angry.
Yeah.
Because small mind.
Yeah.
They keep talking rubbish.
Yeah. That's because, you know, Chris, the higher you rise, the more people want to get you, Chris.
But that guy, I can employ him and give him a better job to do than talking rubbish.
Chris, you're on fire today, man. You are on fire. Okay, so tell me something. So Centum, which you're a director and big shareholder, you got that deal to build a coal plant in Lamu, which you started, right?
We are moving on. We are soldiering on. We're building everything, yes.
And you have another, what is it, geothermal plant?
Yes, we're doing great things, Jeff. And I wish Kenyans would understand. When I told Kenyans buy shares in Centum, it's because I'm there. Leadership is there. We're doing the right thing. We're not small people doing rubbish.
Yeah.
We do serious things. And I tell you, you can see that. We have not paid any dividend to our shareholders. They continue to support us. Why? Their money, they see where it is going. They see it doubling, tripling. Everybody else is going down, reporting warnings of profits. Reporting big profits, Jeff. If you had bought Centum shares, you wouldn't be crying, man.
I wouldn't be here right now.
No, you'll be in your home, relaxed, a billionaire, Jeff.
Okay, I guess the question is, what is it like being a billionaire, Chris? And I'm not talking in shillings. What's it like?
Billions are just numbers.
Oh, come on, Chris, don't say that because you have them.
The most important thing is what you do with the money. How many people you find employment for? How much you touch other people? How much you help others to come out of poverty? This country is full of very good people, hard-working people, but they're poor. They don't know how to unlock the value in themselves. And this is where I find it's nice to have money, because you can help others. We have school, we are training the future entrepreneurs. guys who are being employed, taken from us, hired at very high salaries. Why? They've been to our school training. They know when they are in touch with me.
But Chris, I don't see you with the school at Strathmore Business School. I don't see you giving money.
We support Strathmore. I went to school in Strathmore. All my guys go to Strathmore. We're working with Strathmore, Jeff. We don't shout what we do. We're not after glory. We are after doing the right things. There are people who give, when they give 1 million shillings, they're shouting on top of mountains. We just built a school, 120 million shillings in Mathare. We don't even talk about it. For the poor young Kenyans to be able to get quality education.
Yeah.
We're doing many other things like that. But we don't keep shouting. You know, when you have money, you don't have to shout. But the poor man, when he steals a little bit of money somewhere, he shouts. You know.
Chris, you don't shout?
You know some of these guys driving very huge motor cars.
Yes.
You go to their bank accounts, they're in debt.
And they're driving big cars.
And they're driving big cars. I saw Chris Kirubi with a Range Rover.
Yeah.
I go and order Range Rover.
Yes.
You pay the hook through the nose. I mean, for me, I'll buy a car. I wouldn't even know I bought a car. You know, it's just a car.
That's true. I've seen your garage, Chris. It's full of cars.
Yeah.
It's full of cars.
Cars are nothing. They're just equipments to use, move from point A to B. They don't add my image. Jeff, the whole of French government recognized me.
I saw that. Congratulations for that award.
You never recognized me.
Chris, handshake, man.
I
Handshake.
am a sir.
Sir Chris.
Yes.
And that's not bull. It's not bull.
Oh, it's not. As a sir, I shouldn't be saying that.
Chris, we're going to take a break, come back. Let's talk about Two Rivers.
Yes.
You're building a huge mall right outside of town. When are you opening it? October.
Soft opening, December, real opening in Easter.
Chris, what's it like being a billionaire, man? Tell me.
But I told you billions are just a number. The main thing is what you do with whatever money you have.
Ooh, wise words. At Kirubi at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag Ask Kirubi. Kirubi's sparing nobody tonight. He's pissed off. You're angry, Chris. You're angry.
I'm not happy with the small mind.
You heard the man. Let's take another break. We'll be back. JKL in a moment. Small minds, Chris.